Okay, folks, here's the deal. This is an interview, the type of interview that I've wanted to do with Belgrade Beat for a long time. This is Srdjan from Supernatural Festival and Bar Environmentalist Movement in Belgrade, and he and I had a great chat, which basically just shows you the future of Serbia. Appreciates the Danube, appreciates the nature and the beauty of this country. So please, just let yourself take it in and get in touch with the part of you that is supernatural. Here you go. Srdjan Stankovich, Supernatural. Belgrade Beat, the pulse of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Belgrade Beat on the streets of Belgrade in June 2017. We are sitting here with Srdjan Stankovich, who is the guy, I would say the guy behind this supernatural thing. Makes him sound like a superhero. But there's this organization in Belgrade called Supernatural, which is dedicated to environmental causes in, of all places, Serbia. So, Srdjan, welcome to Belgrade Beat. And what can you tell us, like, really quickly about your organization?
Really quickly?
Wow. Or take 20 minutes and explain everything. It's open.
Okay, well, in 2004, I'm sitting with a couple of friends on Hajduk, which is a wonderful little park just outside of Belgrade. And we did some grilling and some DJing, and it was just really random, chill atmosphere. And at that moment, I realized that this is a beautiful place to organize a festival. And that was just a thought that came in and came out of my mind in 2003, 2004. And then a year later, I happened to be in Japan. It was an expo, which is a big world exhibition that happens every 4 years, where all the countries come together and they sort of set a tone for and the way the civilization will move, either through culture or industry or economy and so on. And the topic in Aichi, a little place close to Nagoya in Japan, was wisdom of nature.
Oh,
and the whole expo was put in context of nature and environment, and this was something that I was really inspired with. And one of the things that I saw there, which was amazing, was a maglev train. It's a train that levitates on electromagnetic field, and it levitates, and it can go 500 kilometers an hour. It's a German-Chinese project. Anyway, this was so inspiring that I thought that this is something that I want to do, not build trains, but do something with the environment. And then these two ideas, the one in Japan and the one in Hajduk a year before, sort of connected in my mind that I want to do a festival that celebrates Mother Earth and celebrates nature. And sort of, I wanted to start working something and doing something that I love, which is environment and nature. And we launched Supernatural Festival in 2007 that celebrates Mother Earth 22nd of April. And that's how we started. That's how we started 10 years ago.
And how did the journey before that? I mean, you told me before that you were living in England before that and all that stuff, and then you've been around the world. You ended up in Japan where you had this revelation. How did you, as a traveler, you're from Belgrade or somewhere around?
I'm from Dubrovnik, actually. I was born...
Oh, right, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Dubrovnik in 1977, April 22nd. And
your birthday is...
Yeah, my birthday is Earth Day. And
my birthday is...
Yeah. And I was born there. The war started. I left. Then I came to Belgrade for a couple of years. Then I went to Austria for a couple of years. Then I went to London. I finished university there. I went to Sydney for a year. Did some marketing exchange program. And then in 2000 I came back to Serbia, and I have been here 17 years. So what was your question?
My question is, how did going around the world and connecting with different cultures help you come back to Serbia, help you come back to the Balkans, and have this vision for making a difference here and making life better for people, better for the environment, and making the whole thing somehow, because you don't hear much about the environment here. You hear that Serbia has beautiful nature, but you don't hear many people who are trying to convert a waste dump into a park.
Yeah.
It sounds like something from another planet, based on like the mentality that a lot of people here are living their lives with. But how did traveling influence that vision?
Well, traveling didn't. I don't think the traveling influenced that particular vision. I think traveling added to the vision, but traveling gave me sort of just a vision of what the world looks like and what different cultures look like and what different places look like. And then why I came here, why I came back to Serbia, I'm not really sure, but I think, I was young when I was living abroad, and it was really, really tough for me. I was alone, lost. I didn't know where the hell I was, who I was. So I thought I was craving for coming back home,
Yeah.
So I came back home in 2000, and I worked in different businesses. I was in textile business, I was in beer business, and then after Japan, I realized that the environment is something that I love deeply, and I couldn't work anymore in the environments which were just about
Business, money.
business.
Yeah.
And that's why I started Supernatural, and then for 4 years we did a festival in Hajdučka Česma, and then in 2011, 2012 we moved to Ada Huja, which was a waste dump, and then we said, okay, festival is a nice thing, it raises awareness, it gets people together, we get some media attention, we got celebrities. I thought that was not enough, and then we found this waste dump on Ada Huja, River Peninsula, and we said, listen, let's make this waste dump in the park. That was just something that we wanted to do, because it used to be a beautiful forest, and then from the 1960s, the waste started being dumped on this beautiful island. It got degraded completely, and then we said that, okay, if we are doing something with the environment, we got to do something concrete, something visible, something with a result. So we transformed the waste dump into park, and that's it. That's not it, but there's a lot about it. But
And so, how do you find it is interacting with the mentality of people here?
beer and environment.
Cheers. Beer is always good. Not always. I try to take a break once in a while, but today is very much
and
a
the
beer day.
and the seventh day, God created beer.
So how do you find it is interacting with like when you mention environment here to people? You know that there's all these countries in Northern Europe, in Germany, who really at least tried to make it a priority. Whereas here it just seems like a detail of life that, it's not a priority in society. People have much more immediate concerns, They don't care about, that everything they buy comes with a plastic bag. They're just happy that they can buy something, rather than that. How do you get this message of environment through to Serbian people? How do you get this message heard here? What are the challenges there?
Well, the thing is that with Serbia and generally the Balkans, the problem used to be and was the war, of course, and then, and this terrible war. And then when you have a situation like that, you don't really think about anything else but surviving. And so now that the wars are gone, thank God, people are slowly, coming back to their lives and reorganizing and rethinking. And I think they didn't have enough. It wasn't just their priority. It was not in their focus. But now that everything's fine, thank God, people are slowly now realizing that we have beautiful nature and that people are coming back. People are coming back to nature now. And Supernatural has this little role to sort of remind people that we all come from nature, and nature is our mother and the source of everything. It's a source of our food. It's a source of our energy. It's a source of our life.
Yeah.
So I think that's the message that we are trying to put across, and I think people are responding well. But the most important thing that Supernatural does, I think, is to make this message fun. That's what festival is about. It's a fun way to engage with environment. When I was a kid, I had biology class, and my teacher was really boring, and I hated my biology class.
Yes. Yeah.
Most of the kids, and it's very sad because biology is the most important subject that humans should learn about, and chemistry, of course.
Yeah, because
because
it's everything.
Everything is biology,
Yeah.
And then I realized, and when we at Supernatural realized that if we want to get this scientific knowledge across mainstream people, we may have to make it fun. And the festival is sort of a way to engage people in a fun way to learn about environment. That's what we have been doing now for 10 years.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about food in Serbia. I mean, really, it's one of the things I love about this country, because I know that this is one of the most fertile countries in Europe, or at least, you know, this country grows more food than can possibly feed the people. And it's a shame a lot of it is going to waste, I think. But how do you... There's all this local greatness in food culture. How do you go and, from your perspective, how do you strengthen this local food culture, you know, that doesn't need like trucks going around all of Europe to bring products everywhere like they have in the European Union and distributing everything?
Or having fish from New Zealand.
Or, you know, how do you get people to understand this message that you should go to the market? Sometimes it'll be cheaper, sometimes it'll be more expensive. You know, you should buy things that are obviously two hands from the farmer. And
you know, I think people do want this, and they understand this, especially in Serbia, because every single person here has a grandmother or grandfather that lives in the village. So we have still this connection to the land, very strong.
Beautiful.
Very strong, you know. But the problem is with the global economic system, where this the food industry worldwide has. They think they started making food not for the quality of the food, but for the money, for the profits.
It's
and
all
and once you put profits first, then of course your food is going to be degraded. You're going to start using pesticides to produce more food, mass production, and so on. So I think people in Serbia are really well aware of this sort of connection with the village and the earth. But it's the economic system that sort of, I mean, apparently we live in a system where you have many choices. Bullshit, you don't have many choices. You have, like, your choices are being shrinked. You know, every year you have less choices. And you have 300 choices of food that has been treated by pesticides. Anyway.
But I feel like somehow in Serbia, if there's enough awareness about this, about what the good choices are, where to buy food, what to ask at the market and all this stuff, we still have a chance not to be...
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, for the past maybe 10 years, this sort of capitalism has entered Serbia as well. But thank God capitalism is over, and I mean, it's going to be over anyway in 10, 20 years anyway. It's like a wounded beast now, you know. That's when it's most dangerous. But it's definitely ciao. And what Supernatural did there is we do a couple of things. First thing, we did the Soul Food Serbia film, a little video that promotes authentic Serbian products and the people and the villagers that are making this food. And this film has been viewed by 4 million people worldwide. We got a prize as the top 10 films in the world. And the idea of this film was that, you know, if we talk about nature and if we talk about environment, villagers are the ones that are the most closely related to earth. They are the ones that are you know, cultivating this food with their hands.
But at the same time, the furthest away from where the decisions are being made in society.
That's at the moment. I mean, any country. I look at Italy, man. Italy is a great example of how it should be done. You know, Italy has, you know, back in the Roman times, you were a soldier, and your ultimate price of being a soldier was Caesar would give you a piece of land, and you would, so that was your ultimate price, and that's why in Italy the villagers are really respected, and the food is so great and so on. So I think this is something that needs to be sort of advocated and promoted in Serbia. Is these villagers? They are the ones who have the greatest knowledge and the greatest skills, and you know. The way, I mean, we are what we eat, you know. And
I know, and I go to the market here, like Bailoni Piazza and all this stuff, and you know, I take the time to find the people who are most authentic when they're selling you stuff, telling you why it's great, and then you just end up with this like goat's cheese.
Sorry, I'm smoking, but
it's a goat's cheese, for example, and it's cleaner than anything you can imagine buying in any of these stores, even if they source from the same sorts of farms, and even as close to you just. And it's just, I feel like in Serbia, like, okay, and then you have the supermarkets, which, you know, they have stuff, vegetables at least, which just seem more plastic. And I think it's obvious which choice needs to be made, and it's obvious which is benefiting the countryside here.
The future, I mean, there are certain supermarkets, supermarkets are inevitable, that's the way.
Yeah, exactly, but
we gotta press this supermarket, we gotta press the supermarkets We gotta lobby them. We gotta campaign to them that they provide authentic Serbian food or local food.
It's
to
not
us.
bad here compared to other countries,
Yeah, it's much
for
better.
example.
I think it's much better, and tomato still tastes like tomato.
Yeah, in other countries like in the European Union, and especially where I grew up in Canada, it's like the vegetables are plastic from a bunch of Latin American countries where Monsanto does their, dirty fucking business, and it just, Jesus Christ, I mean, and here I feel we still have a chance that
right.
if we educate the people.
We are like the last standing Mohicans, man.
Yeah, because like here you still and everybody knows, and what it really comes down to, make them taste it, make them smell it, make them feel it, the textures, the smells, the tastes.
Exactly. I mean, I think the most important thing for the future generation and for us, for Generation X and the millennials, what I think the most important thing, and that's something that Supernatural, I think, is working, a little bit to contribute to this idea, is that every family in Serbia should have a farmer that they buy from,
Yeah.
I mean, there are thousands and thousands of farmers which cannot sell their goods because they don't have a connection to the market. So the idea is that each family should have a farmer, and I think we should encourage people to find farmers and buy directly from farmers. There's something called cooperative agriculture. That's like 20 families get together, and we sort of find a farmer who's going to be producing food for us, and we share the costs, and it's going to end up costing less. You're going to have a better food. The farmers will have money to cultivate. We'll have better food, and that's the solution, I think.
And with the
Small-scale
internet,
farming and the internet, of course.
it's all possible to find what you need, get it delivered,
Absolutely.
whatever, and really hone in.
Farmers need to be educated in the sort of internet. They should have a site. They should have internet delivery, of course.
And so it becomes just a question of having organization
But
with the right values,
the problem
right?
is the problem is that sometimes people are lazy, man. The easiest thing is to go to the supermarket and buy. I mean, just I think that's people are living in comfort too much. And the system that has been made upon us for the past 200 years, everything is a button. Press a button, you get a food. Press a button, you get a drink. Press a button, you get a job.
But hey, the internet can make it so that you press the button. It's like, do you want organic, fresh food from the country, or do you want this fucking stale shit in the supermarket?
That's right.
And you can make it easy for the person to press the right button and have the right values and YouTube videos that educate them about all of the right choices and why they should be a part of something great. And I think this country still has a chance. A lot of them don't. And in environment and, like I live in, pretty close to the center of Belgrade, and I bike everywhere when I can.
That's great.
And that's awesome. And it's just a question of educating people that it's not that bad to make the right choices, and this is a place where we still have the luxury of getting food directly from the people who make it. And we need to be this last culture of the people who are sourcing that, but the people who are selling that food or the distribution networks need to get wiser at educating the people about why they're better, because you can go to the supermarket and all this stuff.
Absolutely, man.
So, with all of that said, your festival, I noticed when I went to your festival, there was a supermarket as a sponsor. I won't say which one. Is that enough? Because I know, like, the music scene here, nobody wants to pay any money to see live music or anything. Nobody wants to pay any money for everything. They expect it all to be. Is the only way you can make your festival successful by getting a sponsor like a supermarket here, or?
We try not to get funded by government.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Why?
Because we don't want to get too close to the government sort of people, because I'm afraid that if I get some money from the government, I might be asked for some return favors.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to stay clean and free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clean and free.
On the other side, in order to fund everything we do, you have to be a little bit pragmatic. I mean, the business sector that we have been working very closely with is the one that, on one side, recognizes the values that we promote environment, and on the other side are they have the funds to sponsor stuff like that. So like our partnership with the supermarket was not only about sponsoring the festival. We also, what we did, we partnered up with a villager who makes most beautiful honey in Serbia from Homolje Mountains, and we managed to get this honey into the supermarket, and the sales of the honey and herbs we used for environmental education. So it was sort of like a win-win situation where we could sell our products in the supermarket and get some funds for a festival, for environmental education, for a park. So it's you have to be pragmatic, man. You know? I mean,
maybe.
And of course there's a red line which we don't cross. We don't want to work with pharmaceutical companies, you know, and similar industries.
And it's not necessarily that the supermarket exists because everybody will do what's most convenient. It's how they shop when they're in there.
No, I mean, like,
they'll stock the honey if it sells, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, there are some good things in supermarket. I mean, and there are some bad things in the supermarket. So it's about us being educated to make right choices, because our wallets are a really powerful tool. You know?
Yeah, that's the more than politics, more than your vote.
And the more educated we are, when you go to a supermarket, you know, you should ask, where is this good coming from? Is it coming from New Zealand, or is it coming from, let's say, Croatia or Greece?
Yeah.
If it's a fish, I'd rather buy a fish from Croatia than from New Zealand. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And if I'm in New Zealand, I'll buy a fish from Australia rather than from Spain. You know? What I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to sort of, I mean, the distance between environmentalists and the villagers and this capitalistic sort of way the distance is really big. So we gotta like work together to meet in the middle. I mean, I'm not against making money. Of course, money is important.
Money, yeah.
You know, but that's not the only, and that's not the imperative. You know. So if we can meet somewhere in the middle where we know that in the supermarket you have original, authentic Zlatar cheese, that would be gret, you know? And that's good for the farmers.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the combination should be, we should buy directly from the villagers and the supermarket, sort of like, you know, there are some things you cannot buy directly from a villager.
Yeah, like rice, you know. Or
like rice, yeah, of course. Rice is, you know.
Has to be imported and stuff like that. No, but I think food is the one that really...
Or bananas, man. I cannot buy a banana you know, from Homolje Mountains, you know?
No, yeah, but I think food is the one where it really hits home, actually, you know?
I think food is one of the most important topics, environmental topics. It's actually probably number one.
Yeah.
You know, food. And then energy.
And then pollution.
And then forestation, and then so on.
Yeah.
Pollution is how do you say? It's an effect, it's not a cause. You know, that's a problem also. Everybody talks about effects, nobody talks about causes.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about global warming, everybody talks about pollution, everybody talks about plastic bags, but that's not a problem, man. Those are not problems. Those are
symptoms of the
They're
problem.
the symptoms, yeah. The problems are here. You know, that's where the waste dump is, man. This is where we got to recycle our minds. But it's going to take time. It's going to take, I think, maybe 50 years. I think our kids are the ones that, you know, are gonna make it happen.
But only if we pass on the right message to them, or else it can just get worse, right?
Well, if we pass them the right message and if we do things right, they'll have less work to do. If we don't, I mean, inevitably we gotta go back to nature, man, because what we created now worldwide is just fucked up, man. It's not working.
Yeah, but slowly but surely.
You know, global warming. I mean, you know, when I hear people say we have to fight climate change, and it's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. How can you fight the climate change? Climate change is every day, man. You cannot fight climate change. It's not about climate change. It's not about global warming. I mean, Europe is actually cooling.
Okay.
Europe is getting colder.
Okay.
So global warming, climate change is all crap, man. The real story is genetically modified food. That's a problem.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Using oil as an energy for industry. Degrading biodiversity of the world, cutting trees and killing animals. Those are the stories we should be talking about, not climate change. Because, you know, that's the fucking problem. I'm pissed off, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a slowly but surely sort of thing. You know, like it's hard to make all the right choices in your life, but, you know, if you make the choice to, you know, walk places, not take the bus, and only use a car when you need to, whatever, I mean, but it's just about the principle, actually, I think.
the bicycle is the vehicle for 21st century. You know, in 2011, I used to ride. I had a Lada Niva, little Jeep, and it broke down, and I didn't have money to fix it. So the only thing was to use a bicycle.
Yeah.
And for 4 months, I was organizing a festival just using a bicycle. I would go to New Belgrade, sign a contract there, and then go back.
Yeah, why not?
And I discovered, man, bicycle is the
Fuck it.
21st century vehicle.
If you have to walk up a hill, if you're too tired, just walk up that fucking hill.
beautiful, man.
And the more you do, the more you'll be able to
Yeah.
handle every day.
Exactly. And yeah.
I would like to see more of a bike culture here in Belgrade, because when
They are great people. I mean,
yeah,
like
but
Ralph-
like the
Ralph-
drivers, just like I'm particularly alert, and I view it as a war when I go on the street with my bike. I view it as like a motherfucking like. First of all, you know, like if somebody's calling me. Oh, let's see if I can.
Your
Okay.
mother is calling you.
No, she doesn't have this number. Hold on a second.
It's the Minister of Environment.
Yeah. So basically, when I go out on the streets in Belgrade, where's my beer, man? When I go out on the streets in Belgrade on a bike, I view it as war.
Yeah.
And the number one rule of my war is I do not believe that anybody knows I exist. I am invisible unless I make eye contact with the driver.
Yeah.
I would not suggest biking
And
in
you have
Belgrade.
this crazy eye in your look, man.
Oh yeah, like literally, and drivers here, if you slow them down for 1 second, they fucking honk at you.
Yeah.
And you know, I almost think it would be good if somebody like made a fucking sticker that bicycle riders.
Maybe we should organize like a bike mafia, man. You know, and like.
No, just stuff like this. You have stickers that bicycle riders are taking with them on the street when they're riding, and it says, "I hate the bicycle."
Yeah.
Merzim bicycle. and then every time somebody honks or yells at them for, you know, slowing them down, whatever, like, and then a driver is an asshole to you, you take this sticker out, put it on their fucking windshield.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And then see what, you know? I mean, that sort of thing would work. But I think we would bikes here.
It's all about really it's culture, you know, and
People here are into them.
and what we need to do.
This
is,
like, why can't I smoke inside? Why can't I smoke in your apartment thing? When I tell people they can't smoke in my apartment, they're like, what? But how do you expect me to be comfortable here if I can't? Like, what? Honestly,
you see, we have a supernatural bar. I'm a smoker, but we don't allow smoking in the bar. I think that's a statement, you know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a statement. Like, go outside. You know, we don't want. Yeah.
It's about culture. It's about
Respect for other people.
Yeah, it's about
respect for
respect.
the environment.
Yeah,
Not even the plants, the trees, the
Yeah.
birds and the bees, but
That's right.
like
It's-
actual like
yeah.
the people around you.
It's about
Not
respect.
to leave garbage on the
That's
streets.
right.
You know.
That's right. It's about respect, exactly.
Yeah.
And we gotta sort of promote this values, because if only people knew. I mean, look, check this out, man. You know, I mean, I think 98% of people around the world don't care about bees. All right, they don't give a shit about bees. Okay, but do you know that bees pollinate 80% of the food that we eat?
Yeah.
All right. So if there were no bees to pollinate our food, we would. I mean, there's a calculation that says that we would die as a civilization in 4 years if there were no bees,
Huh.
because they pollinate 60-80% of the food we eat. Even the T-shirt I wear, cotton is pollinated with the bees.
Yeah.
So the bees are essentially important for our life. They're our partners. So that's what people need to understand. You know?
And everyone likes honey.
And everybody loves honey, of course. And that's the thing, you know. And there's many different examples. There's many different other examples in the natural world, which, you know, nature is a perfect organism.
But how much can you educate people? How much can you force people to be decent, to make the right environment, to recycle all this stuff? How can you force it? How much can you force it? And how much of a difference can you make? Or what is the answer? To inspire them, you know?
I think there are two ways. One, the first and most important one is to work with kids. You know, when you see kids in nature, they behave so happily, freely. It's all natural, because they know instinctively that they belong there. And as they grow up and as their parents, you know, misguide them, they get alienated from nature and the problems happen. Okay, so I think we need to work with kids, and then if we work with kids now, in 20 years we'll have a generation that respects nature. So
Like, hey kids, this is the food from Monsanto and this is the food from the farmer in the village.
That's right.
Which one tastes better and why? Figure it out,
That's
you know? Like,
that's true. Yeah, that's exactly. So that's one way, and the second way is that we need to press the government. So we need to press the government to you know, to start thinking this way and to start prioritizing. You know, number one priority. If I was a president, which I will never be,
yeah.
my number one priority would be to get Serbia as organic as possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would be. If I was a president, Serbia would
And
be the most organic
maybe
country.
come on, legalize some marijuana.
Legalizing marijuana, of course, but especially
Obviously.
no, because it's a. I mean, that's a different topic. But
Yeah, no, go on. Sorry, I interrupted you because I find it important to mention.
Yeah, I
that.
mean, not just marijuana. I'm talking about how do you call it, konoplja?
Hemp.
Hemp. I mean, from hemp you can make oil, you can make buildings, clothing, medicine. It's the most amazing plant. But anyway, that's a different topic. So the second thing is that the government needs to really start understanding the priorities and then work together with the people. You know, people are criticizing the government criticizes people. It's all same shit, man. Government is people.
Government is the reflection of the people and their mentality.
So I think those are the two ways: working with kids, and government people sort of cooperation. And
But you don't want to work with politicians at this point in Serbia.
no. I mean, I can advise, but I don't want to work there because.
No, just no.
No.
The big changes in business, I feel like the big sort of differences.
I think that I maybe can have more influence other ways. You know, I think, you know, through what you do, like what you are doing, and people are watching. I think through film, through video, through social networks, through events.
Politicians have to catch up to us.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Exactly.
Yeah, they gotta catch up to us. We are the future. We have the insights that they are too narrow-sighted,
However, there are governments in the worldwide, like Nordic countries, like Sweden and Norway. These guys are amazing. You know?
That's because the people insisted.
Yeah, but they somehow I think they have figured it out. You know, and you know, we were talking about Balkans, man. I went to China, I went to Australia, I went to South America, I went to North America, I went everywhere. And I swear to God, I don't want to sound pretentious.
Pretentious, yeah.
I guarantee you that Balkans is one of the most beautiful places in the world, most biodiverse places in the world with amazing people, culture, and potential. And we have to just stop fighting and
I see so
realize
much.
this.
I see so much potential in Serbia. I see it every day. People listen to me talking about this potential in this country, and they look at me like I'm fucking insane. And it's like they say, "Don't you feel so sad when you listen to people and their stories about those?" Yeah. It's time to start some new stories. You know.
The problem with people, I mean, of course, war is a serious problem. Okay, I don't want to. You know, I come from a war. I escaped from the war. You know, I've been in the middle of the war, and that's a serious problem.
Yeah, that's a serious problem.
But another problem is, I think there's a lot of negative way of looking at things here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, look at Cuba, man. You know, these people are, you know, they got worse economic situation than we do, and they're all dancing salsa. I think Serbians should start dancing salsa, man. Or some colo.
Yeah,
you know?
anything.
I think people are looking at life too seriously. Life is not that serious, man.
But the reality of the situation is that everybody I know here
Have some beer.
or rakia or
Rakia, man.
you know,
Connecting people.
divlja kruška, wild pear.
Wild pear, yeah.
Yeah.
I like pear, but plum is plum.
Anything wild. I like anything with like šumska kupina and everything, you know,
Okay,
just
you
like
know,
coming in and like it's like, this is from nature.
Are you Serbian?
No, I'm a fake Serb.
No, you're not a fake Serbian.
Yeah, but okay. But like I just think you know, like everybody here has something to eat and a place to sleep at night, and friends that they can spend time with. Let's start from that, and let's try some crazy shit. Let's try to make this place great. You know, okay, everybody has their tužna priča about like fucking, you know, no jobs or whatever. But what we need here is entrepreneurs to create the future of jobs here. We don't need like people sitting around complaining all day. We need people taking action for their values, what they see is right. You know, if you believe in the environment and local foods, if you believe in the farms and stuff like that, then why don't you figure out how to make an internet site to sell them to the world? You know, anything like that. Just like, come on, guys, like, don't sit around, don't be lazy, take action. And the massive action.
Action, that's the key word, man. You know,
yeah, what I want to inspire in this country is that people feel that they're so grateful to be in a place that has such a honest goodness in people, and that they want to share that to the world. A lot of people feel that. A lot of people feel shame about Serbian, mostly about the way Serbs do business and the way that they are unreliable or whatever. And I was like, the people that I meet here who are disciplined, hardworking, forward-thinking, they're the fucking best. And we just need to, everybody needs to take stock of themselves, like look inside themselves and find, what am I doing that's not, you know, bringing this country forward? And everybody needs to find their place and to push this forward with the local culture, push it to the world, because this is a beautiful part of the world.
It is. Balkans is the, I mean, my God, I wish people would explore more, you know, just put your backpack on, take your girlfriend, go with your friends, and just explore, because Serbia and Balkans are amazing.
It's amazing,
just move, man. You know?
And my message to the kids is just appreciate this country, what you have, and use that as a base. Use that as a base to find your passion and go around the world, because, you know, it's all we have. This country, this region, it's great. And there's so much possibility if you just get out of this negative thinking.
And I mean, are we finished or
I think we're pretty finished. Okay, I just wanted to ask you one more question, but go on.
No, I was gonna give a little sort of message to the people, young people, you know.
Yeah, go for it.
I've discovered a secret, which is so beautiful and so powerful. And I encourage you to go and seek the truth and find the secret, which is called the Danube. Okay? The Danube holds all the secrets and
majestic,
man, exactly. And my message to the people, because that's water, man. It's been passing through here for thousands and thousands of years. I don't want to go too much into it. You know, the first urban settlement in Europe is here in Serbia and Lepenski Vir, and also Bulgaria and Romania. And Danube is the Danube is the key, man. The Danube is the key.
Dude, my family is from Bratislava. My grandfather was German from there. He grew up next to the Danube, and when he died, it was, I guess, illegal to throw his ashes there, but I took his ashes when he died in Canada. I took them on the flight and took them back to the fucking Danube and put his ashes in the Danube so he could merge with that.
Amazing.
And this Danube is my connection with my family in Belgrade and everything, and you know, this whole lifeline of Europe.
It's a bloodline, man. It's the center. Danube is the greatest secret. So that's it. And your question is?
I just wanted to know, like, I remember before you mentioned to me that Gary Vee was an inspiring entrepreneur for you and an inspiring mentor on YouTube to watch his videos.
Oh my God, he's my psychiatrist, man.
Yeah.
Gary Vee is my psychiatrist.
What do you get from that? From this guy, this crazy, you know, Slavic American dude who
Jewish. He's Jewish,
Slavic, Jewish, American.
He's
like
got a great mix.
And what do you get from him, which is relevant to you in your journey here?
Gary Vee is he's my psychiatrist, and then Gary Vee is he's like this, you know, Adam.
And we're talking about Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk, of course.
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody who looks it up, you'll find him.
Yeah.
He's on everywhere, social media.
He's an atom with protons and neutrons, and he's this energy ball that radiates most amazing energy across the universe. And he's a guy who really made it great in America. And you can look him up.
And he's got this like calling you on your bullshit thing as well.
He's I mean, how I connect with Gary. He's so true. He's so honest. He's so direct. And He speaks the truth. He's like, how do you say, prorok?
Ne znam to.
Prorok, hold on. He's a digital, hold on a minute.
He's the guy who just like, you know, he's the voice inside your head when you're not doing something
This
that
guy,
you need to be doing.
Okay,
It's
Gary
like,
V is a digital prophet.
yeah.
Okay, he just inspires young people to, you know, stop bullshitting and start working what you love, and just be persistent. And he inspires, and you know, Gary V sees this, man. Gary, brother, you're Serbian.
Come on over.
Come over,
We'll show you this place. Anyways, thanks a lot for this.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Supernatural Bar in Dorchal. Come.
I gotta say one more thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sort of spreading positive vibes in Serbia and in Belgrade, and I really appreciate it.
Dude, this place was everything I was missing from my life in Canada when I lived there. Every soul that my grandparents, you know, spoke about in their lives, even of the war, of the Slavic culture and everything. I came here and I found it. And I found people who I can connect with, who you can
Thank
just
you.
talk to from the heart.
Thank you
and
so
I'm
much.
glad that we had a chance today to talk like this and to put it online for whoever wants to watch. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you, Srdjan.
Thanks, bro.
Ciao.
Thanks a lot.
Supernatural Bar up the
Supernatural
street.
Festival.
Dorchal Festival next year.
Park and Supernatural
Awesomeness. And you can tap into, ladies and gentlemen, tap into that part of you that is supernatural and touch the super and touch the natural. Feel it, folks. Thanks a lot, Belgrade Beat, Eric and Srdjan saying goodbye. Beautiful Friday evening in Dorchal, and we'll catch you later. Ciao.
Ciao.
Belgrade Beat, the pulse of the city. Subscribe! Subscribe!